Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and today on drboycetv.com, we're going to talk about Bronny James and a comment made by Mr. Elon Musk. Elon upset a lot of people today because he made a remark about Bronny's recent heart attack, and he connected it to that jab. And I'm going to talk about not just the comment, but also the reaction to the comment, and then ask intelligent black people what you think in terms of which conversations are acceptable and which ones are off limits. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to say good morning to everybody. Please shout out your city. Let me know what city you're from. I see Cheetah Bot from Kylene, Texas, Larry B., Boca Raton, Charles Holman out of Trenton, New Jersey. Put your B1 in the chat also. Just know this platform, we are Black First. We don't discriminate, but we are here for the black community first and foremost. Justin Pender, my name is Corey. How you doing? B1 for Baltimore. Good to see you too. Lady Love out of Pittsburgh. Let's see, Gerald Rogers out of Las Vegas, Nevada. San Antonio for Daniel Williams. Good to see everybody. Good morning. All right, so let me ask you all this question. How many of you have been paying any sort of attention? Give me a yes or no. How many of you have been paying attention at all to what happened to LeBron James' son, Bronny? Give me a yes if you follow this, where Bronny, unfortunately, I mean, it's so sad. This 18-year-old kid had a heart attack the other day, a cardiac arrest, and his family released the information to the public. And it was just sad and tragic because I've been following Bronny since he was, probably kindergarten. And, and I love LeBron. I love the fact that this guy is smart. I love the fact that he has a great wife. I love the fact that he has a great family. I love the fact that he's a great dad. LeBron is one of my favorite athletes because he follows in the tradition of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant in that he is a great athlete and, the king of basketball. He was for a long time. But he was different from Michael and Kobe. He was different from Michael and Kobe because Michael was a smart guy and a great man, but he was known to be kind of a prick, and Kobe kind of took after Michael. Whereas LeBron is not just competitive; he's also collaborative, and he brought a different kind of energy to the sport that I actually just really respect. But they're all smart guys. All 3 of those guys went on and made money after they finished playing and did great things. So I just really have a lot of respect for them. But anyway, so LeBron and Bronny, they're dealing with a family tragedy, and my heart goes out to them. And I hate the fact that this occurred. I mean, my lord, you're 18 years old, your whole life's ahead of you. He just got started at USC. He's already dealing with what probably is like a tremendous amount of pressure to try to keep up with his dad. I mean, man, your father is one of the greatest athletes of all time, and you have to try to match up to that. That's a lot of pressure, and I respect the fact that he still just chose to play basketball. To try to, because a lot of kids, they'll do a sport or some sort of profession that's the complete opposite of what their father did. If their father was the best on earth or something, they don't want to try to keep up with that. He stood up to the challenge, and I have a lot of respect and admiration for that. But anyway, here's what it was interesting. So after Bronny had his heart attack, it was his cardiac arrest. I'm gonna use heart attack and cardiac arrest interchangeably. I hope that's okay. I'm not a cardiologist. I'm not a heart expert, so I want to make that clear. But after Bronny had his unfortunate incident, Elon Musk, made a comment that it's easy to say that it could be seen as inappropriate. and I'm just gonna ask y'all what y'all think, because I think you can think there are a lot of opinions on this, but he basically says um, we cannot ascribe everything to the vax. I'm gonna say vax because they banned certain words online, certain words you can't even say. But by the same token, we cannot ascribe nothing. Myocarditis is a known side effect. The only question is whether it is rare or common. Well, let me just tell you, when he made that remark, ooh, buddy, people went ballistic. People were angry at Musk for making that comment. But you know what? I don't listen to the world. I listen to intelligent black people. And I want to ask y'all, a lot of y'all are very smart people in here. And I know a lot of y'all. Some of y'all have medical degrees and PhDs and master's degrees. And some of y'all may not even have a lot of formal education, but you're thinkers and you're readers. What do you think? Give me a yes or no if you think that there might be some credibility to Musk's remarks. Give me a yes if you think that it's possible that this 18-year-old suddenly plopping down of a heart attack could be related to the conversation that the public is not even allowed to have. How many of you think that maybe there's something to this, or put a no if you think it's just nonsense, it's conspiracy theories, he's just talking out of the side of his ass. How dare you, Mr. White Man, say something that is unsanctioned by the U.S. government? How many of you feel like there's a possibility, or at least think it's worthy of having the conversation? Nicole says yes. Lady Love says no. Okay, Les Jennings, yes. California Don, yes. Vera Day, yes. Charles Nelson says I don't know. That's a good answer too. William Irving, everybody knows what it is, but nobody has the courage anymore to say it. Say it. It's called truth. Okay. Yeah. Let me say. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. If you didn't participate in the big shenanigan called Pandemic 2020, if you didn't participate, like if you didn't get any shots, if you didn't, do what they told you to do, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. The pandemic was one of the greatest public health economic calamities in recent American history. And we've had some calamities in this country. We've had some clown moments, but this was absolutely clownish in so many ways. It was handled inappropriately in so many ways. Just the fact that they threw away, trillions of dollars just by dumping money on the economy, literally sending people PPP payments and checks and loans without any verification. Didn't even verify to see if you really had a business. And next thing you know, people going to prison 20 years because they filled out the paperwork and got loans and went out and bought Bentleys and Rolexes and all that. I mean, and then you had an inflation problem because you were pumping all this money into the economy, and we've been fighting inflation for 2-3 years. Y'all do understand this, right? Like that's the economic ridiculousness of the pandemic, is that your government officials are just a bunch of dummies. They're just so stupid. I couldn't believe that they did it that way. It made no sense to me whatsoever. But it makes sense if you look at the way political incentives are set up. They work for these corporations. They use the U.S. government as a money grab. They use it as an opportunity for them to pursue individual agendas without thinking about what's best for this country. And they show as hell ain't thinking about what's best for your health. They show as hell ain't thinking about what's good for the American people. They definitely aren't thinking about you. So I'm gonna just say this. Look, I'm not here to tell you whether or not you think you can agree or disagree with what Elon Musk said. I'm just here to tell you that maybe there's some thought here in terms of whether or not we should ask, like, why are certain conversations completely off limits? Why is it just, like, and this is the thing. This is the politics coming out in my mind. This is me. I'm a thinker. I think a lot. I watch everything. I observe things. I live with a smart black woman who also has a PhD. So we're constantly analyzing things. So when Musk made this comment that maybe Bronny's heart attack was related to that jab, I looked at the news headlines, particularly from right and left wing outlets. I mean, we don't have real journalism anymore. Apparently, they changed the laws, and now anybody with a laptop can call themselves a journalist. So you got these really biased platforms that don't even report news. Look at this headline from the Daily Beast. Elon Musk immediately spreads vax garbage after Bronny James medical scare. Aren't you supposed to be, this is, what was it, the Daily Beast? Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be journalists? I taught for 13 years at Syracuse University. They had one of the best journalism schools in the country. We produce some of the top leading journalists of all, Bob Costas, Mike Tirico, people like that on that caliber. And I'm not an expert of journalism, but if I'm not mistaken, one of the tenets of journalism is that you're supposed to be unbiased. You're supposed to present facts and let people make their own decision. You're not supposed to come in and call an idea garbage just because it doesn't fit your personal politics. So right there, that tells me that you're garbage, your outlet is garbage, and that you're not doing anything for anybody except yourself. You're filling up your own bank account by feeding into the division that is causing millions of Americans to be so pissed off every day that they don't even talk to each other anymore. If this country goes down, mark my words, y'all, mark my words. If this country goes down and we start settling our elections in blood, it's going to be because we've got these right-wing and left-wing media outlets that are making money by fueling the flames of division among the American people. So if you ever, I have to re-up this statement periodically so people understand where I'm coming from. So if you ever come by this platform and you say, Lord Jesus, this guy Boyce, he's supposed to be a finance professor. Why would he be talking about politics? Well, because if you want to understand American politics, all you got to do is follow the money. Just follow the money. So these media outlets like the Daily Beast and Fox News and all them that make money, because Fox News, they just got sued for almost $1 trillion. What was it? Was it how many? Was it? No, it was almost $1 billion, I think. Almost $1 billion. I said almost $1 trillion. That's a stupid number. Almost $1 billion because they were lying during the election. They were going around and saying things that simply had not been proven. So they all lie. They all lie. And the thing that bothers me is that all this lying for money is so harmful to society because people don't know who to believe. They can't get to the truth. Here's another headline. I can't remember which publication this was. It says Elon Musk uses Bronny James cardiac arrest to spread anti-vax conspiracy theory. Thank you, Nikki McCann Ramirez. You're showing me that you're not a real journalist because real journalists don't write headlines like that. You're just a blogger. Apparently, you're a lady with an opinion. Join the club. Everybody has an opinion. What's another headline I saw? Elon Musk slammed for pushing anti-vax conspiracy theory in response to LeBron James' son Bronny suffering cardiac arrest. So here's my point. Here's what I'm getting at. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm not telling you that you should think that Bronny's heart attack was related to the shot. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying this, and this is where I'm going to go on a limb with this, is that if you got a son, I don't know if any of y'all got a son, a nephew, a baby daddy, a husband, a brother, you better go do the due diligence to find out if there might be a possible side effect that could cost him his life. I mean, you better not let Dr. Fauci shut down any and all conversations about that pandemic that might lead you to the information that you need in order for you to make the best decision for your family. And if you want to know why I'm partly why I'm passionate about this, not just because I was pissed off by the way they handled the pandemic, but I'm also passionate about it because I had a relative who got a shot, a close relative that I trust very much, who got one of those shots. It was one of those double dose things, a J&J. He got the shot, and then a couple days later, 38 years old, he was in the hospital having what he thought was a heart attack. I am not making this up. There's no political agenda behind me sharing this story. This is a true story from a person that is not at all politically driven. He's not an extremist. He's not a big mouth. He's not into liberal conservative stuff. He just got the shot because that's what they told him to do. and he was in the hospital with a heart attack a couple of days later. I'm not making this up, y'all. And a lot of y'all are coming up and telling stories about loved ones that you've had who've had some crazy side effects. And I'm not sitting here trying to tell you what the opinion should be, but I'm just sitting there trying to ask, who is deciding that we are not even allowed to have the conversation? That's the part that I want y'all to get. I hope you get what I'm saying. Give me a yes if you follow what I'm saying. I'm not telling you what to say, what to think. I'm just saying, how come we're not hearing all the voices? You know, I saw a guy named Dr. Peter McCullough, and I can't put his face on the screen because I don't have it with me, but Dr. Peter McCullough, I looked up his background, and this guy was, I think he was like the head of cardiology at Baylor University or something. And I looked up Baylor's medical school. They have a really good medical school. It's one of the best medical schools in the country. And he was like the head of cardiology or something at Baylor. Let me double check that. Let me make sure I get this right, because I don't want to say it wrong, because then people will say it's misinformation. But this dude didn't have shady credentials. That's my point. It wasn't like he got his degree at at McDonald's University. He didn't go to he didn't go to go to the University of Phoenix Online. No disrespect if you did, but he didn't get his degree on the internet. He really got a real degree at a top university and had become one of the top medical professionals in his field. And so he's a guy that has been vocal about the jab, and he's kind of said, look, there are some problems here. There could be some issues here. And here we go. I got his information in front of me. Check this out. Dr. Peter McCullough. Some of y'all might have heard of him. He is, listen to this, y'all. Tell me, give me a yes if I just read this and it wasn't linked to politics, would you believe that he actually has credentials, or would you think he was a quack? What do y'all think? He's 60 years old. He's an American cardiologist. He was the vice chief of internal medicine at Baylor University Medical School and a professor at Texas A&M University. The first thing they say on his Wikipedia page is that during the pandemic, he promoted misinformation about the treatment and mRNA vaccines. So literally, without even thoroughly examining what people are saying, without allowing for public debate, without allowing the public to process the information for themselves, they immediately say, no, 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 no. Don't listen to that guy. He's misinformation, y'all. He's just misinformation. Well, I kind of want to hear what the good doctor has to say, because when it comes to me and my family, I'm not letting the government make decisions for me. I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do that. I want all the information. And I'm going to just tell all of y'all, look, my wife is a professor just like me. And that's all we did during the pandemic was we would watch C-SPAN. We stopped watching left-wing and right-wing media. We did not watch MSNBC. We did not watch Fox. We watched C-SPAN. And the reason we watched C-SPAN is because C-SPAN would not summarize the press conference for you. They would not tell you what Biden said. They would show you Biden saying it. They would not tell you what Trump said. They will allow you to watch the words come out of his mouth so you can hear exactly what he said. And what we noticed was that by the time the press conference got to MSNBC and Fox, by the time they summarized it for you and interpreted it for you, what they said will be completely different from what the person actually stated. So what I'm saying is that these political biases have infected American public discourse. They've infected, one of the biggest viruses in America is the virus of misinformation. That absolutely 100% true. But the biggest sign that misinformation is prevalent in this society is that the people who are spreading the most misinformation are the ones who are the arbiters of misinformation. The people who are most guilty of spreading misinformation are the ones who will ban anybody who has a differing opinion and then accuse them of having misinformation. So the criminal is the cop. The cop is the criminal. Do you understand what I'm saying? The cop shows up and says, no, he's a crook, y'all. He's a criminal. But really, the cop is the actual criminal. Or maybe they're both criminals. But one person is saying, I'm good, I'm pure, I'm honest. Oh, but that other person over there, he's a complete liar. When really, maybe both of y'all aligned a little bit. Maybe both of y'all have a bias. Maybe both of you have an agenda. And then at the end of the day, you end up looking crazy because you don't know who to believe. Look, I'm going to tell you like this. If I was friends with LeBron, if LeBron hears this, man, I would tell you, brother, I don't know. Again, I don't know. You can't go back in time. You can't change whether he got this shot or not. But what I will say is, man, you got to protect your family, dude, and you have to make decisions as a man that are going to be decisions based on all the information. You can't let what's popular make the decision for you. You can't let what's politically correct make the decision for you. You can't let me just tell y'all like this. And by the way, do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button while you can. Please hit that thumbs up button, the notification bell, stuff like that. And by the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's my new Instagram. I guess I must be a misinformation guy. I was reading Dr. Claude Anderson books online, and the Zuckerbergs banned me from from Instagram. But I do have a backup Instagram page, so if you want to follow me, maybe that'll get banned too. I don't know. But anyways, Dr. Boy's Finance, and it's a smaller page anyway, so it allows more intimate conversations without all the bots and stuff. And also one other thing I'll mention is at the All Black National Convention, where we gather intelligent Black people who care about the community. One of the cool things about the convention is that because we don't accept corporate sponsorship from major corporations and we don't accept money from Democrats or Republicans, we're able to have those discussions. So we had a panel during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic. We had a panel where we had some doctors on the panel who were in favor of the jab so that people could hear from them and hear their point of view. And we had doctors on the panel who were against the jab. And we had people like Dr. Christina Parks, who has a PhD in molecular biology, who really upset a lot of people because she gave that testimony in the Michigan House of Representatives. And she specifically talked about Black people. Dr. Parks, I know her very well. She loves Black people. And she said that this is dangerous for Black people. That was her opinion. That was her view. Rizza Islam came to the convention. And I guarantee you that you won't see Rizza Islam getting invited to the Congressional Black Caucus convention because they're not allowed to have that conversation. Well, why? Well, because the people that pay the bills will not allow Black people to have certain discussions. He will not be invited to the NAACP convention. Why? Well, because the people that pay the bills will not allow Black people to have that discussion. And so what I'm saying to you guys, and I hope that you can hear this, some people can't hear it, some people get caught up in the noise, is I'm not telling you what your opinion needs to be. I know some of y'all want me to tell you what I think, so you can do what I say and tell you to do. And I'm not here to tell you to do that. I'm just here to tell you that anybody who blocks you from information, anybody who tells you your opinion before you've made it up yourself, that person is not your friend. That person can't. How are you gonna be my friend when I'm trying to figure out what's best for my family? I'm the head of my household, not you. I'm trying to make these decisions, not you. But you come to no, don't listen to him. Yeah, he has a Harvard degree, but he's a quiet because Harvard isn't a very good school and they don't train people very well. So he's misinformation. Sorry, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I hit a button, and when I hit a magic, y'all know how my podcast is. When I hit the wrong button, crazy things happen. So give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me all right, because I want to make sure I'm coming through okay. And that actually was an alarm to let me know that I got a meeting in a few minutes. So it's like my stop yapping alarm. And while we're at it, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I have a new book out called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It is an Amazon bestseller. It is an incredibly good book. I think you guys are going to love it. If you'd like to get a copy, you can go to my website. My website is boycewatkins.com. And you can even get an autographed copy. And my kids run our family business, and they will ship the book to your house with my autograph in that book, if that's what you want. And also have a series called Black American Money that I wrote when I was on the faculty at Syracuse. Feel free to take a look at that. And so we've been doing this for a while. We've had chances to talk to a lot of people and hopefully impact the culture. And I remember when Charlemagne was doing his thing at the Wendy Williams show and then on the Breakfast Club and all that. They were gracious enough to have me on several times. And then also we were able to play a part in getting other great people on there like Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Claude Anderson, Tariq Nasheed, all these voices and I'm really proud to play a part in that because it wasn't just about me. It wasn't just about me sort of. I know I can be divisive because I'm very clear and direct about what I say. I really want people to hear from a lot of different voices. That's one of the biggest things I think as a community is you're not hearing from all the people that really love you. You're not hearing from all the people that have something good to say. You're not hearing from all the people that are intelligent, that are smart. That you're only hearing from the rappers or the politicians or the bootleg pastors and people that just don't really have the skill set to lead a community, right? So the reason I love people like the Farrakhan's and the Dr. Claudes is because y'all need to learn from the elders. Y'all need to hear from the people that have been in this game for a minute. Farrakhan is, I love him, I respect him because he's seen the dirty tricks of the CIA and the FBI. Dr. Claude Anderson has seen the dirty tricks of the federal government. They understand the game at a level that we don't understand. So don't go listen to some. Don't just when you turn. Don't. What I'm saying is that a community for good leadership. I'm jumbling my words here, but a community looking for good leadership should not be turned into a 75-year-old elder who can tell you how things were in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You need to turn to a Professor James Small. You need to hear from people like that. You need to hear from, you need to learn about your Marcus Garveys. Marcus isn't here with us anymore, but he had one of the greatest models of Black economic power in the history of all mankind. So effectively, this is what we do. This is what the goal has always been. When I was on the Breakfast Club a bunch of times, I just told Charlemagne, like, I don't really want to keep going on the Breakfast Club because I'd rather see other people that have other opinions and other perspectives who can reach people that I cannot reach. So we've been at this and we're doing it. We're getting it done. We're changing the culture. And one other great cultural thing that we do is the All Black National Convention. And it's the leading gathering on earth of intelligent Black people. And it's going to happen in Atlanta, October 20th through the 22nd. If you'd like to learn more, or if you have a Black-owned business and you want to be a vendor, or you want us to market your business on this platform, our people, they buy Black, they love Black people, they love Black businesses. So if you just go to allblacknationalconvention.com, I'd be more than happy to work with you as a partner, assuming that your business works for what we're trying to do. We can't partner with everybody, but we do partner with Black-owned companies. All right. So anyway, let's keep going. Let's jump back in. Let's finish this conversation up. All right. So we were talking about Bronny James and Elon Musk's comments about Bronny, and basically where Elon caught some heat because he was basically saying that that Bronny's heart attack might have been linked to this jab, and so this jab, I think honestly, how many of y'all? Let's be honest. Let's ask each other an honest question for a minute. Give me a yes or no. How many of you, when you first heard about the heart attack, how many of you immediately thought about that? Like, how many of y'all immediately were like, "Uh oh." Like, how many of you? I don't know. How many of you were kind of like, "Oh man," like almost like it's like the elephant in the room in a way where it's like the thing that they won't let you talk about, but the universe is making them talk about it. Like that's how I feel. I feel almost like when Damar Hamlin from the Buffalo Bills just fell out on national TV. You know, I'm gonna tell you this. When Damar Hamlin fell out on national TV of a heart attack, and people got to watch a really super healthy 27, 28-year-old man just drop out, in this Monday Night Football, which is the most highly rated football game of the entire week. I kind of felt like that, like, that Color Purple song, God is trying to tell you something. Like, it's almost like y'all, like they're trying so hard to not even have this discussion, but the universe is making them have the discussion. The people are starting to talk. People are looking and saying, hold up, wait a minute, what's going on here? Now don't get me wrong. Young people have been having heart attacks for a long time. When I was in college, there was a great Black man named Daryl Van Meter at the University of Kentucky, and he was 19. And I talked to Daryl that morning. I saw him on the way to the cafeteria. That afternoon, he was playing basketball, and he just died from a heart attack that day. Died, gone. He was a smart young guy. I think he would have done amazing things in his life. And so this has been happening. This was long before the pandemic. So we know that there are, these rare instances where healthy 18-year-olds can drop from heart issues. What isn't being discussed, what I would like to know, here's what I'd like to know, y'all. This is it. Anybody who's a skeptic, go get this data from me. I'd like to know how many young people die from heart attacks in a typical year, say before 2020, right? Let's go back to 2015, 2014, 2013, or even before that. How many young people were dying each year of heart attacks then versus how many young people are dying of heart attacks now? That is one simple data point that they could provide that I don't really see them sort of talking about or publicizing, right? I think that anybody who wants to prove that it's misinformation should provide that data. Just show that data. You guys are crazy. It's not the jab. In 2017, 0.0001% of 18-year-olds died of heart attacks. In 2023, it's still the same percentage. If that's the case, then case closed. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, let's be fair with this, right? I think you should be fair. I think you should be open minded. Because remember, you're talking about health. You're not talking about something that's just your opinion. You're talking about something that's life or death, right? So to me, if you're really trying to get to the truth, just present that simple data point. That simple data point would, would just kind of solve everything. But they won't even really talk about that. They just basically have this very Nazi-like policy that says anybody who even questions anything about this is going to be instantly labeled as misinformation. That right there is, if you don't see the corruption, then I can't help you. I don't know. I question your intelligence. If you don't understand how corrupt it is to literally eliminate anybody who has an opinion different from your own, and you don't see the politics of that. That's what politics is about. That's what a lot of countries do. Corrupt countries do this all the time. You just eliminate your political enemies, right? You just define them as being bad people. You put them in jail. You do whatever, and then you don't have any competition anymore. You can have absolute power. It happens all the time, right? And so ultimately, this is what I really see here is that that the country moved backward because of this pandemic. And what really frightens me, and this is where the long-term price will be paid, is that the next time that there's another pandemic, and if let's say that there's another virus that comes along that's really killing people, let's say that it kills 50 times more people than the previous one, you're going to have a lot of people die because they're not going to believe a single thing that the government says. And that's the problem. You're going to have a lot of people that aren't going to make it because the government killed its credibility by not allowing open debate amongst leading scholars on a very important issue. And so this is where I give a shout out to the Joe Rogans and people like that of the world who simply said, screw you and your accusations of misinformation. We're going to allow people to have the conversation, and we're going to listen to everybody. I think that's the best approach. That's what I do. And I encourage everybody in here, listen to people who disagree with you, because that will make you a smarter person in general. Okay, so if you're a liberal, go listen to some conservatives. If you're a conservative, go listen to some liberals. Try to understand where they're coming from, and then that way you can just be a better person. Like I'm not, for example, I'm not a Marxist or anything, but I enjoy reading Karl Marx and his critiques of capitalism. He has really good critiques of and a lot of the critiques Karl Marx has of capitalism are critiques you'll hear on this platform. Karl Marx said that capitalism causes you to spend all your life at the factory or the corporate plantation. He said capitalism causes you to it destroys families and makes people into cogs in the wheel. It harms the workers. All these are things that I've said. I've been like, yeah, wow, this is really good. He's absolutely 100% correct. I don't want to be a Marxist, but I'm going to listen. Right. So listen to people who differ from you. That just makes life better for you anyway. Right. So give me a yes if we can agree that that's our goal, to just be smarter people and to be better human beings by listening to each other. I think that will go a long way. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I got this meeting. I think I'm late for the meeting. No, I'm not. I'm not late. I'm not late. So anyway, have a good. Yeah, communism doesn't work, Doc. Yeah. Well, in practice, you're right. You're actually. But then again, capitalism, look at the United States. Capitalism ain't working too good either. The way they're running capitalism in the United States with all the greed and everything else, it's going to get messy. The United States, just so you know, you're living in a country that's on the decline. I want to make that clear. This country is not going to be the same 50, 60 years from now. America will not maintain its superpower status for many reasons, one of which is that you don't even care about your children. You don't even educate your kids. The fact that we spend all this money educating kids more than every other country damn near, and our kids are coming out, can't even read, can't write, can't compete. That right there is one variable alone that is going to lead to the destruction of the country long term. But then you can go into other areas like, why do you spend so much on healthcare, but your healthcare sucks? Why do you spend why do you spend more money incarcerating people than you spend actually improving their lives and making them better? Just if you you can just keep going down the list. Why does CEO pay keep going up while worker wages remain flat and continue to go down despite all this inflation? Like, there are so many things happening in this country that are harmful and backwards and going to destroy this nation. I cannot, the list would be too long for me to recite it all right now. So just understand, you got to get ready for this. This is another reason why I encourage all intelligent black people, call in all intelligent black people. You got to invest for your kids. You have to prepare for the future because the future is going to be even grimmer than the present. And the present is pretty grim. The amount of debt that your government is in, $32 trillion, is incredibly large. It's way too high for the amount of income that the country generates. So they're going to start taxing people more. And the politicians don't care about you. They work for the corporations. That's why. So it's interesting. The capitalism and the money is part of what made your country so powerful, but it's also part of what is going to destroy your country. So think of the capitalism, think of the economics of this country, almost like cocaine, right? If a person, just to be just objective about it without bias, if a person's really tired and they really got to work a few more hours and they're working on something important, I'm sure like there was a time where somebody said, oh, let's try this little drug and it'll kind of perk you up. Right. And so maybe theoretically, again, I've never tried this. I don't touch drugs, but theoretically, there was a time where somebody could have like a tiny bit of coke and it would kind of get them going. Right. It's a nice pick me up. Right. But then what happens? Why do you not mess around with those drugs? Well, because then you can become a drug addict and you get to the point where you're abusing the drug and then the bad starts to outweigh the good. And so capitalism is like economic cocaine. It's basically something that's a little pick me up. It's like, okay, if you're struggling economically, yeah, some capitalist principles can get your economy going, create some opportunities, create some possibilities where there were none. It can be good for society. But if you go too far, like America has, and you start letting people abuse it and you start allowing greed to infect your system, well, then guess what? You become a drug addict and then the bad starts to outweigh the good. And that's what's happened to America. America has begun to abuse the economic cocaine called capitalism, and it's causing us to be a country on the decline. Like, so there's no reason, for example, that we should have these billionaires, these people running around with $100 billion in the bank while people are out here starving half to death, and you got a homelessness problem all around this country. There's no reason why these corporations should be making money hand over fist, and people can't even get access to mental health facilities. It's kind of crazy, right? But then when you go to the rich and you say, hey, we're going to increase your taxes by 1%, they use the shenanigans of a Fox News to say, oh, you're taxing the job creators and you're destroying America and blah 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 blah. And then next thing you know, it doesn't get passed. And then also the way the corporations keep from being taxed and the billionaires keep from being taxed is they simply buy off your politicians. Why? Well, because politicians are basically cheap political whores. These are not expensive whores. These are not high price hoes. They $2 hoes. And so basically they'll go buy these $2 hoes on Capitol Hill. And the next thing you know, they're passing laws like Joe Biden and Bill Clinton did when they passed that law, basically blocking you from being able to declare bankruptcy on your student loans. If they had never passed that law, there would be no student loan crisis. God bless Elizabeth Warren. She was the only politician I know of who predicted back in 2007. She said, if you pass this law that keeps people from being able to declare student loans on their bankruptcy, you're going to have a student loan debt crisis unlike anything you have ever seen. And they passed it anyway. Now, look at where we are 15 years later. We've got a student loan crisis that is literally one of the great economic bubbles that once it pops, it's going to drop the economy into a deep recession because your student loan debt is kicking you in the ass. Everybody knows it, but you can't get rid of it. Why? Well, because the corporations went and bought your politicians. The American people did not ask for that. Not one of you anywhere, I'm sure, I know for a fact, not one of you called your local politician and said, I want you to pass a law that says that I can't ever get rid of my student loans, that my student loans are going to be a financial STD that I can't get rid of. None of y'all asked for that. Well, where did it come from? Well, it came from the billionaires and the corporations because they needed bouncers. They needed like those hitmen that, those loan collectors for the mob, the guys that show up and break your legs and kick your ass in order to make you pay the bills. They needed an enforcer. And the best enforcer on earth is the U.S. government. Why? Well, because they're backed by the power of the greatest military on the planet. So they go and they buy the government and they use them as economic enforcers to force you into paying your student loans even when you ain't got the money. So effectively, you end up so stuck in debt that you become a sharecropper, a modern day sharecropper, because you're forced to go to work to repay a debt that will never be repaid. I want y'all to be liberated from all of that. I hope you heard me when I just broke that whole system down for you, because I really want you and your children liberated from all that. So you got to get away from these systems. These systems are terrible. They're harmful. They're going to destroy you. Don't let that happen. All right. But they can be beautiful, wonderful, and exhilarating if you use them in the right way. All right. So anyway, let me get out of here, guys. I got this meeting. It started 1 minute ago. So now I'm officially late. But I don't regret a thing because I enjoy talking to y'all. If you want to get Dr. Boyce profit alerts sent to you via text, I will send you stocks each week that I actually buy myself for my family. Just text the word stock to 31996. And this stock to 31996. That's right there on the screen. Also, this podcast is on Spotify. I'll also send you our $5 a day investing plan from the Black Business School, where we've helped over 10 million of our people buy stock for the first time. I will send you a training I did on how to make money without working, and I'll send you lots of other free stuff from the Black Business School. So feel free to text the word stock to 31996, and also follow me on Spotify. Just look up my name and you'll find me there. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good day. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. I will check in with you guys later. Be good. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.